Let's hope the wind's not too bad.
This is where we talked about the weather change, man.
I know, it's nice today.
It was nice yesterday, too. It was pretty breezy.
Yep.
It's still hot, but...
I like this. This is like tolerable.
Yeah.
Compared to...
Well, you know how it is. I mean, you even see that sometimes you don't want to leave depending on what time of the day it is. If you don't have to, right?
Yeah,
Come on.
I mean, in the afternoon it's really hot. I even feel bad taking the dogs outside to go to the bathroom because...
Yeah, Angie just got these little foot pads for Capo.
Oh, really?
I guess they go on his stick on his feet or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's hot for them.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're back.
We're back.
So I'm doing old people stuff tomorrow.
What is it? Oh, no.
Colonoscopy.
Oh, jeez. You've been doing that for a while, actually.
I sure have.
You started early.
This mic's gonna be a lot of noise. So.
I know. Sorry, guys.
So if you guys hear the wind too much,
we apologize.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Usually we cancel jaywalking on windy days.
I didn't think it was going to be that windy today at my house.
Yeah,
it's more windy here.
Yeah, it's just because we're kind of in a tunnel. But for a lot of people that don't know, I actually, and this will probably surprise a lot of people. So I had a case of colitis back in after the 09 Olympia.
09, yeah.
So I had issues. And I couldn't figure it out during my prep, and it might have been, you know what? It might have been 2010. No, I think it was 09. So, you know, I had an issue. I just couldn't hold any food down. So I went for a checkup, and they put me through all these different specialists. And sooner or later, yes, they said I had colitis.
Wow.
And they gave me a prescription to this Lialda, which was like an oral, and literally the day I took it, it stopped.
Oh, wow.
And they said, you know, you have inflammation in your colon. It looks like they told me since 03. They thought it was a number of years. So you can imagine it was like 6 years of...
Wow.
It looked like it had been there for a long time. Come on.
What causes that? Is it?
I thought it was the high fiber diet, but they said a lot of it can be genetic.
Okay.
But I had that inflammation, so I took the medication. I took it for about 6 months, and they said, you know, you can try tapering off of it. And it was super expensive at the time. I did have insurance that covered it, but I mean, it was thousands of dollars for the monthly prescription. Yeah. So I stayed on it. I tried to come off, and it literally came right back.
Oh, wow.
And then after 1 year, because Hani was concerned about it as I started prepping for the next Olympia, so 2010.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I came off, and I never had to take it again. And they said, usually, when you have a case like that, the likeness of it coming back into your 40s is common.
Okay.
And luckily, I mean, I haven't had any issues, but remember, my diet changed drastically. You know, when I felt like it was just a lot of Ezekiel cereal and a lot of Ezekiel bread.
Yeah.
So anyone that's on a high fiber diet, you have to really be careful when you're eating that much. I mean, in abundance. Remember, I was almost 300 pounds. So you can imagine the food I was eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to go I had to do my colonoscopy then. I did it at 44, and now at 51, I'm doing another one. So yeah. So I have to fast today. Luckily, I got all my training in. I just came back from the Jay Cutler Classic, Virginia.
How was that?
It was really good. We had a lot of great competitors and a lot of people training for the North Americans too. So we had a lot of first timers. But I would honestly say it was one of the most successful years we've had. We had a good attendance, and it's always concerned right now with the economy and everything that's going on.
Not cheap to compete.
But we had a lot of people come in from all over the place, a lot of military or ex-military people. So it was fun. It was a good time. I got to train out there, and The only problem is like when we do these west to east trips,
Yeah.
or in back and forth, man, I had to wake up super early I wanted to get there for the check-in, so I had to leave at 6 in the morning, which means I had to get up at 3. Luckily, Angie was here, so she actually drove me to this one. Sometimes I take an Uber, but sometimes that can be a little tricky at that time in the morning. She was scheduled to go to New Jersey, and we got halfway to the airport and our flight got delayed. There's a ton of delays going on right now, so she canceled her trip and stayed back. And I came back. I left there at 5 in the morning, and then I got stuck in Charlotte. We had a delay.
Of course.
So I got back 2 hours late. But I got to train at a good gym, and that's the one thing I was talking about when I do travel to these events is the coolest thing is getting to train at different facilities. Because as much as we talk about the gyms and the cultures and everything else, going and training at a different gym can really give you incentive on your training. So that's why, like back in Mass, we used to travel on the Sundays and go
different gyms.
Train at different gyms. And usually it was, like I said, it was leg day.
On Sunday?
Yeah.
Like Derek.
Yes. Derek used to do that all the time.
Oh, yeah?
But they used to come. It's funny because his crew used to come over from where he lived in Fitchburg, Leominster, and they used to come train in Worcester. And we used to think, the crazy thing is we used to think it was so far, Dave, and it was probably only like 20, 25 minutes.
I know. It's funny.
We drive to California, and like that's hours and hours. Like you can't.
Yeah.
We never went that far. We stayed in the state.
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah.
you used to hear about those gyms, the rumbling of like, think about back then in the facilities we have today, if you never know how good a gym was with just by a few word of mouth. It's like the guys who win the competitions in the Mr. Olympia where you walked into Gold's and looked forward to seeing that front desk list.
That's right.
You probably asked every day.
That's right.
When is the list coming out for?
How many phone calls they must have gotten? Oh my God.
So people called Gold's, right?
Oh yeah, they would call just to know if there was no other way to find out the
results.
The results. But Gold's Gym always the first one to have it, it seems like.
Yeah, I think even people in Worcester used to call Gold's Venice. I think it became a thing. I don't know if it got mentioned in a magazine or...
I don't know, but people will find out. Yeah.
I was just listening to John Hansen's podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday, he sends me all his podcasts.
Oh, yeah?
Really informational about the old school.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, the early days of Mr. Olympia. I've gotten through, like, Sergio's run, obviously Larry Scott.
Yeah.
And I'm on the Arnold portion right now. I just didn't realize, dude, there were so few competitors.
I know.
Like Arnold won, it was Franco, Serge Nubret, and Arnold or something.
Yeah.
In the contest, 1 year. And Sergio, I didn't realize Sergio won one on his own also. Arnold won one on his own. There was so little...
No competition. Yeah.
Well, I guess they banned people from competing in different organizations or guest posings or...
Yeah, they were strict about that, Weeder.
Yeah. So I was listening to that and the history of the Olympia. Now it's like we're talking about guys. I mean, Andrew Jack just won Texas, who looked unbelievable.
299, dude.
Yeah, you waited.
The day before.
I wonder what he was for this stage. I think 280 something, right?
He said the day before the show, 299.
Well, he had clothes and stuff,
Dude, we're getting close to Coleman's weight.
Yeah, well, he's 6'3".
I know, but...
I mean, Ronnie was 5'11", so...
Right.
I mean, it's... how much do you think Tony Freeman weighed?
Not 299.
What about, like, Gunter?
Yeah, he was pretty big, too.
Yeah,
he was close to that, yeah. Yeah, but I don't know, Gunter didn't have the line of Jacked. Jacked is like a supersized Flex Wheeler.
He is.
Yeah,
do you think he can challenge the top three?
It's going to be interesting, man. Because he's riding the wave right now. And I know Texas is not the Arnold or the Olympia, but still, he impressed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Major progress since last year. So we'll see. I like Andrew.
Yeah, I do too.
Good attitude. Never says anything bad about anybody.
I mean, they're going full guns to the Olympia like to win it, which I think is great.
I think so too. I mean,
it makes it really exciting, especially when you have, you know, Samson was like this standout position guy because of his height and his stature.
That's right.
And now he's got someone that, you know, where Andrew was 5th last year.
Yeah.
Samson was 3rd.
But
I think we'll really see those guys
competing.
Kind of battle it out, and it's like who's going to topple each, you know? I think that's what makes the show exciting.
How weird would it be if Andrew wins the Olympia with the same team that Sean Roden did, which is where it is.
Yeah.
You know? Aceto and Psycho. Crazy.
Yeah, we'll have to interview Psycho and ask him what his thoughts are. He must be over the moon right now. I did text him congratulations. Chris Aceto called me that next day.
Yeah?
And we spoke, He's pretty excited.
I'm sure. I love Psycho. He's such a good dude.
I mean, for someone to migrate from Dubai to train in the States, I mean...
Has he moved now?
No.
Okay.
He just comes. But that's the thing is, like, his job and his dude, he's in the best setup in the world. He's got food. He's got the best gyms.
Yeah.
And he comes to California, which you and I know isn't like the Mecca anymore. He's training at Psycho's body shop, right? Which, you know, is a good gym, but he's so used to training at he trains at Beano's gym, which is like one of the best gyms out there.
Chris's gym, I don't know if you've ever saw Chris's place.
I haven't. Remember I was supposed to go for the grand opening?
It's really nice, dude. He's picked up all the best machine and stuff. And you know what? It's kind of like, it gives you like a feeling that you're at goals kind of, but like in like a dungeon. So it's like Rocky IV training by himself.
Really?
It's kind of like that, but with all the best machines. It's really good. A block away from the beach.
Yeah.
He's got doors, so air's come in. It's very nice, you would like it. Like it would be kind of like your keto club over there.
But I give him a lot of credit. I mean, can you imagine the guy wins the Olympia and like it's kind of like when Hadi comes from Iran and he stays with Hani the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't see that as much anymore.
No.
I mean, Dennis James used to do it.
Yeah. I think Andrew comes for like a few months.
He's coming for 5 weeks, I heard.
Oh, okay.
So he's really going all in. I mean, to separate yourself from your family and put it all those eggs into one thing. I mean, you have to give respect for that. And you know, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I mean, he's won 3 years in a row in Texas now.
I know.
But is he the future? You know, is that like, does Mr. Olympia walk in the room and, you know, do you have a Derek Lunsford, a Hadi Chupin, or do you have an Andrew Jacked? Like, it's like they always say the apples and oranges thing.
I know.
Like, we haven't seen a guy with that much mass with the ability, the height.
You know what's funny, though, is that he hasn't lost any of his lines.
No.
When people say he was 3,000, I'm like, I'm thinking where? Because, of course, on pictures, we can't see how big he is. But it says a lot to his genetics for him to be able to put on that much weight and not lose his line. Remember Kevin did that for a while, but he didn't look as good as when he was lighter. Same thing with Flex.
Yeah, he's got a lot of detail. The midsection, I mean, his front poses, his front relaxed, his lat spread, his front double.
Sick.
I mean, they're all almost unbeatable. Like, he can beat everybody in that.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, his back's improved. I mean, he's made some improvements. You know, side poses, he still needs to adjust the side chest. He can look a little more dense, and that side tricep's amazing.
Yeah.
But he's got the tools, man, to be Mr. Olympia. That's what, man, it's always good to build a show, and I mean, that's all people are talking about right now. I know if I was competing and I was like either the champ or right there, I'd be a little concerned. You know, I never had a guy that came up behind me. I mean, Gunter, I guess, did, but when he beat Ronnie and like, hey, is he going to take position? But it just never amounted to it. And Andrew's not a young guy. I mean,
but he's not young, but in the bodybuilding game he is, because he started so late.
Yeah.
So he's still fresh, you know. He's been doing this for like, what, 3-4 years now? 5 maybe max?
Yeah. Well, the Olympia's building, man. It's it's definitely making it exciting. And, you know, tell me what you guys think. I mean, is he a guy that can challenge? I mean, Should Derek and Hadi take notice? But Hadi looks incredible too, and so does Derek. I mean, it's funny, they'll start putting out there now with this hype. What's cool is like you're gonna start seeing things pop up with those guys because they're like, hey, don't forget I'm here. I saw Samson, I saw Hadi, and I saw Derek already posting like their strong pictures of what they have. So we didn't have that, man. You know, I wasn't putting pictures on. You let those leak for 2006.
I know.
You know, they went over. I think Milos leaked them or whatever on Get Big and all the
Peter was so pissed.
He was, huh?
Peter at Flex was just like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Because they had the exclusive, right?
They wanted to have the exclusive, But I think those pictures look so good. Actually, I think it helped you win the show.
Well, I mean, dude, you were there and you were like, wow, like.
Milos couldn't believe it either.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. And it says something because he would see all the competitors because of Lund would shoot all the guys, so he would see them, you know.
Well, we didn't know either. Like, I showed up there and I'm like, I look good, but then once he started shooting, it was like, okay, this is apparent. What a feeling that is, though, man. Like, when you have that confidence of, like, the whole world, like, behind the scenes already knows, like, you're coming.
Yeah.
The whole industry of, like, experts, are like, this guy's coming for it.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, when Kevin came and shot us in Vegas, and 2 weeks out in black and white with you taking the picture at Gold's like that.
Oh my God, that was the best.
I was just like praying. You know what I was praying is like, am I gonna be like, don't overdo it, don't overdo it, don't overdo it. Like, I'm like, should I do more cardio? Should I?
Peter said that when he saw those pictures of 09. He called me and he said, please tell Jay not to do anything different. He's fucking like, wow. So for guys like Kevin Horton and Peter McGuff to say that kind of stuff, they've been in the industry
I miss those guys, man.
Me too. They were great.
I don't, you know, you still hear from Kevin at all? Like, you see him
No,
post?
I see him. I see his wife's on Facebook a lot, but not so much Kevin. But I remember back then, I would go to the Weeder offices just to talk to Peter.
Yeah.
He was like, he would call me.
He was a huge dude. He was the backbone of.
He was great.
Like, ever since I was a kid, man, with signing my first contract and getting utilized in the books, and like him enticing me, hey, move to California, we'll use you, and you know, that was a great time for me. Like, I'm thinking now as I reminisce, and we do this a lot on the Jaywalking, is like that aura of what fitness. I wish you guys could be in that era, and a lot of our viewers were there and listening to it. But I wish I could explain that feeling that I had, like when I moved to California and I was living in Aliso Viejo, and
just to be invited to the Weeder offices. Remember how exciting it was to go there?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I literally remember the first time I walked in there, man. I had Atomics sneakers. I had a pair of shorts that were like. I don't know if they were Max Muscle, but they were like the tablecloth, like you know what they were.
Yeah.
And I had a white V-neck T-shirt, and my chest was popping out. And I just done the tournament at Champions, so I was only like 250, but I was just only so round. You know, I was 22 years old.
Wow.
And I got to go to the office. I remember sitting outside Joe's office, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to meet Joe Weeder.
Oh my God.
And he comes out, and it's like, it was so weird because he was like suited up almost. He was in like I don't even know if he was in a tie, but he was in like a dress, and he had sneakers on. Like white tennis sneakers, but he had like a full suit, you know?
Like Seinfeld.
And I'm like, he says, hey, how you doing? And the first thing he says is like, who did you shoot with? Like, it wasn't like, hey, I'm Joe Weeder. It was like, hey, come on in. And he's like, who did you shoot with? And I'm like, Muscle Mag, Irvin Gelb. And he said, okay, because I want to sign you to a contract. Literally, I got up out of the chair and I walked in. He says, okay, come in. It was outside his office. And he says, those are the first thing. He says, he's like, come on in. And he's like, who did you shoot with? And that was it. That was the first. And he's like, I want to give you a contract. There was no talking, anything. So then I hit some poses for him. And he's like, wow, you know, because he had already studied the pictures, and they had already told him.
He wanted to see the real thing.
And I was like, you know, rebounded a little bit from the show, and hard as a rock, right? And then we shot the Muscle and Fitness like the next day.
How did you feel when he told you that? How does that feel to have Joe Weeder tell you, I want to sign you to a contract at that age?
From where I came from, and like the dream of reading about him and Arnold, I mean, we don't even see that stuff today.
No.
So like our viewers that are new, like you guys don't hear about like everything was about Arnold and Joe. Like it was like Joe was the reason Arnold came over and was able to make a living and gave him a deal. And like they would have, without Joe, there might have not been a, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger like that.
That's for sure.
Like, so when we talk about how influential bodybuilding can be, for someone like Schwarzenegger, it was everything.
Yeah.
Like it was a huge stepping stone. And for me, it was the same thing. Like bodybuilding has given me unbelievable success in so many different arenas, and it all came like Joe from that moment. And so then when I talk about those moments, there's impactful people that have made a difference for me. It's just like Ed Connor's inviting me to his house, and I mean Irvin Gelb coming and shooting me in Massachusetts, where he made money off of my pictures, but man, like he came and stayed at my house so we could get the behind the scenes. He went to the gym with me every day.
Wow.
Dude, he was a man that came and stayed with a kid that was 21 years old.
Wow.
And like, he literally slept on my couch. He slept in my spare room on an air mattress. And I mean, gosh, it's crazy.
When you talk about it, it makes me relive those years. So exciting.
Yep.
I miss that. It's not the same.
I mean,
today.
we're touching a little bit. That's why I think people enjoy the jaywalking so much. So, all right, guys. So we're going to get some behind-the-scenes stuff this weekend. We have Anaheim, so we'll be able to get that.
FitExpo.
And that's going to come together with all this video. And once again, thank you guys so much for following along. And make sure you guys comment below what you guys think. A little talk there. So let's get it. All right. So this is the Anaheim FitExpo. I'm actually walking in for day 2 of the show right now. So I'm going to get a little bit behind the scenes. Dave was here yesterday filming, but I'm going to show you. This is the convention center right here. And I'm just going to run the camera. I'm going to run the camera as we kind of walk through the expo to show you guys what we see. Angie said it's actually pretty busy this morning. It's Sunday. It's the last day. Yesterday was crazy. We had a crazy line, so I appreciate everyone that came out and waited in those crazy lines. So let's see what we're running into today. Security should be here waiting. So I'll just run the camera. Hey, bro. My security guy. Hey, man. How you doing?
Class B, number 15, Shaw.
All right, we're getting all set up. We just got back from California, right? Just got home, just unpacked the truck, got all the laundry together, and it was a 4-day trip. So once again, super successful. And you know, I'm so thankful for everyone that came out to share their stories with me and talk about you know, what they've been doing over. Some of the guys that came from the past years, the women, how their journey's been, and telling me a little bit of points of how something we spoke about maybe changed their perception of how they were going through processes and whatnot. And that to me honestly is honestly the best payback I could get for all these years of all those, you know, grinding workouts that I went through. And of course, you know, standing at these expos, you know, you have that experience to greet so many people, and it means so much. So I think it was really successful. I've been doing this for well over 20 years now with the TheFitExpo. Not necessarily Anaheim, but LA has been basically in place for that long. And I know they're putting on another one next year. San Jose is what I was told. So there'll be 3 next year. So I'll hopefully be present at the January one, the June one, and the August one. So really looking forward to it. Once again, I want to say thank you to everyone that came out. You guys get to see a little glimpse of little behind the scenes. We didn't film too much because it was super busy. Got to display all the products, the supplements. We launched a new 4 crown shirts that are now available on the Jay Cutler shop, which is kind of cool. And you know, we had some great feedback. So hopefully it gave everyone some extra motivation as we lead into now the fall, and everyone's going to start, before you know it, their New Year's resolution. So what's on your agenda? That's the question. And hopefully you guys are crushing your workouts, and I hope you guys enjoyed it between the Jaywalking, FitExpo, and we'll be back next week. Every Tuesday here on JayCutlerTV, we launch our 1-week video and show you guys a little bit behind the scenes what's going on. The monsters here, trying to pick up the rest of the scraps. Huckabone, they were good on the ride back. So love you guys. Keep subscribing, keep following the YouTube, and of course share this video and comment below, and hopefully I get a couple of you guys that attended the event and tell me why you continue to come to see me, or why you decided for the first time, because there were so many first time people there, to come check it out. All right, big shout out to the Expo, all the fans out there in Anaheim and beyond. We'll be back next week for JayCutlerTV. Love you guys.
No mercy for you, no worries for you. That Game of Thrones, go Cersei on you. I flip the script, I roll the dice. Don't fall asleep, cause I'm working nights. Hey, you trying to shut